Hey y'all! I did it again. See? You thought I was kidding about that.
It's a thing now. Just get used to it.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Um, hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Game Theory Podcast. This is episode 80.1, doing news and reviews for March 29th. This, for me... Oh, wait, before we get into that, how's your week?
Spring break, it's been great.
Nice, nice. What'd you do?
Basically just played a lot of video games all the time.
That sounds like my spring break, except a lot less video games. But that's fun. That's fun. I've been getting beat the shit out of. I went to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu again. Finally got less sore, and I got pummeled. When I came home, I just lifted up my arm and I had just bruises all up and down my arm. It's ridiculous, man. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Listen, if Amy's hurting you, you don't have to make up stories about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Is this a safe space?
You're among friends here.
I need an adult. No, yeah, it's pretty fun. Then I've been getting my bro on. Lots of protein,
Protein? Getting swole like a bro?
Getting swole, bro. But yeah, good. Yeah, was not my what's it called? Friggin' spring break. Already had it. So, but got some gaming in. Yeah, so I'm excited to talk about it.
Nice.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I guess we can just jump right into the news then, if it's been pretty slow. So, recent news. All right, this is the recent news section, and we're going to be talking about things in the news. This has been kind of slow. Oh, first of all, I wanted to say that Steam is having sale on Sega right now. If you're a PC gamer, anything that's Sega related, so you may want to head over there.
Yeah, I think today's the last day for it, though, so it might be too late.
That sucks. Sorry,
We'll
dudes.
announce it on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
But good news. Well, mixed news. I don't know. We'll find out. But Nintendo has announced a new console called the Nintendo, codenamed the NX.
Ugh, at least it's not. Actually, no, that's not better. I've always made fun of their names, but the NES was fine. Nintendo Entertainment System, whatever. Nobody had any idea what things were back then, and the Coleco had the same thing. Coleco Entertainment System, or maybe it was something different. Computer, but anyway, but the Wii. The GameCube was pretty obvious. It's a fucking cube, and it's for gaming.
Plays games, yeah, sure.
The Wii U, the 2DS and 3DS. Come on, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan. NX would be fine, except how are we gonna pronounce that?
Well, it's a code name. They won't actually name the console that. It's like they called the N64 Project Dolphin when it was in development.
Oh yeah, and Revelation for Wii, right?
Yeah. So this is kind of it's basically because the Wii U is their worst selling console, if you don't count the Virtual Boy. They've only sold about 10 million units so far, and it's the GameCube sold 22 million, so that's how far behind they are, which is really sad. I love my Wii U. I'm having so much fun on it, but it just didn't pick up. So they're coming out with a new one, and the thing with Nintendo is they tend to take big risks, and usually it pays off, right? Like the DS and the 3DS, those are incredibly good selling they're selling hotcakes basically. Do people buy hotcakes? Is that a thing anymore? Because
hotcakes, I'll take your whole stack.
I'll have all the hotcakes you have. I feel like hotcakes only come up as a metaphor for things that sell fast, but I don't think anyone's ever seen a hotcake or could recognize one if they were presented with one.
Just a pancake? I figured it was just a pancake.
Yeah, I picture pancakes, but just hot and steaming. Anyway,
do they sell quickly?
The Nintendo DS and the 3DS sold great, and the Wii sold really well as well. Remember how you couldn't find a Wii for a long time?
Yeah.
And those things took big risks. They would have the Wiimote or two screens. They were doing weird stuff, and it paid off. And then they tried the Wii U. They tried to do something weird with a second screen on the gamepad, and that did not pay off so well. Which again is weird because I really enjoy that. Like in Mario Party, having Bowser on that extra screen just fucking everybody over, doing his own thing. It's fun. Makes for asymmetric gameplay, which is interesting. But so the NX, we don't know what it's going to do, except that there's a new control method in the works. because that Wii U's like touchscreen hybrid thing failed to inspire any developer support. And they said they're going to incorporate a brand new concept, which that's all we know about so far. But they're thinking maybe it might be a console portable hybrid, and it might tie into the Nintendo also announced in the same announcement that they're going to be working more with mobile platforms to make have a more iOS and phone presence.
That'd be good. That's a big part of the market's going that way. In fact, that was one of the criticisms of the 3DS. They were like, "Oh no, is it going to be able to survive all the mobile gaming?" Apparently, it did just fine.
Did so well that they just invented a new 3DS that I kind of want.
Man, that upgraded one.
Yeah, it's like a bigger screen and better processing power. It's about like having a Wii in your hands.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, awesome. I'm excited to hear about it. So it's definitely console though, not a handheld.
Yeah, it's a console, but they're hinting that it might have some handheld crossover like tie-ins. But
you ever heard of the NVIDIA Shield?
No.
So it's kind of like a tablet, right? Like you get your little tablet there and you can play on it, and it basically just does. From my understanding, it's just a like a dummy type computer. So it's basically having your computer do all the processing power. Like Steam, you can do it on Steam right now, where you could play. I could play on my computer on someone else's computer. Basically, it just has my computer do all the processing power and basically just captures the screen and casts it on whatever you're playing. That's kind of what the NVIDIA Shield does. You kind of take this old tablet and you stick it into like a it looks kind of like an Xbox controller, and you pop it into the top of that, and then you've got a tiny little screen and a little controller, and it seems like a cool idea. I just don't know if it's going to take off. But I wonder if it's something like that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We should probably expect it around holidays of 2016, knowing their track record for releasing games around Christmas or consoles around Christmas. So probably 2016 would be my guess. That gives the Wii U about 4-year lifespan, which is short but not unexpected considering the lack of third-party support it's had.
Yeah.
Huh. It's the fatal flaw with Nintendo is they make really good first-party titles that they're just super fun, like Hyrule Warriors, the new Zelda game that's coming out for the Wii U, 3D Mario. Like their first-party stuff is so good. Smash Brothers. But then they just never get that second party, third-party support that they need to really make the console last.
Yeah, I just wish they'd let other people develop games for their consoles. I mean, I guess they do, but
they do. It's just no one's biting. No one wants to.
I don't know.
The thing is, it's easy to develop for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC because they're all kind of similar. Like they're basically the same with like slight differences as far as developing games goes. But if you want to develop for a Wii U, you have to incorporate that extra screen, and it takes a lot of more work. Or for the Wii, same problem. Like you have to incorporate a brand new controller. So their innovation is a strength, but it's also a weakness when it comes to getting third parties to want to invest in that new system.
Yeah, I could see that, especially because I guess it takes kind of a while because people don't want to develop for a system if it's not going to take off and be worth the return on investment. So they're kind of probably waiting on it, and as if everybody's waiting, it's kind of like the psychological effect of what happens when someone says, "Please help," and everyone's standing around thinking,
"Someone else will do it.
Someone else is going to help." Yeah. So you got to point someone out and be like, "You helping me for sure."
Yeah, it's just easier to take the path of least resistance, and that means going with like the other 3 major platforms that are all basically the same. It's like 3 birds with 1 stone, instead of having to like from the ground up redesign something.
Yeah, well, it makes sense, but hopefully this new console will kind of take care of that. So a game came out. Well, it's been out for a little bit now, but it's new. I think this week, pretty sure. Pillars of Eternity. New RPG. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, it's like an old school style Baldur's Gate kind of game.
Yeah, it was actually marketed, I think, on Kickstarter. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm about 90% sure it was on Kickstarter, and it was supposed to be the spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate.
See, I have no nostalgia for Baldur's Gate. Like I saw that and I was like, all right.
Me too. I just. It's a different age, man. Like I don't get it. I played Baldur's Gate. I beat it, but I just even played Baldur's Gate 2.
They used like the weird second edition D&D rules, and it was all kind of like fiddly and like super. It was kind of turn-based and kind of real time. It was just a weird, not super fun game for me.
Yeah, it's just pause and wait, and like people talk about the storyline, but I don't even remember it. I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, like you were like a a godling in like you didn't know it, and you were trying to murder all the other heirs to the god of murder. I don't know. I just have no nostalgia, so when I saw Pillars of Eternity, I just didn't even follow it. But I guess there's some news about it.
Well, people are just kind of talking about it, and there's two camps really, but one of them is the most vocal. At least that's my take on it, because it got really good reviews, and especially these people who were, I don't know. I just like to meet someone who likes these. You know, like I have this idea that they might be kind of like, you know, grognardish. You know, unfortunately, in our specific hobby, there's some people that are just elitist weirdos, you know, or they have like this idea that something was amazing when it wasn't, like, and they have a hard time admitting that to themselves.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, we're foreshadowing, and I do that too. Like, you know, NBA Jam, love the shit out of that game. Was it actually a good game? No, it was super like easy made, and once you get the tactic that you can push someone right before they dunk it, then it ruined the whole game. And they never. Back then, you know, you don't really patch games, so it kind of just ruined the game to the point where I would just wait. I'd let them do whatever they want, and I'd just stand by the basket, and then, you know, if they tried to dunk, then I would just shove at the last second. There's like this tiny little part where you could shove them, and then they fall down, and you could take the basketball and go dunk it yourself.
I never discovered that. I was too busy playing with, you know, I was Bill Clinton, big head mode, versus like all the weird codes.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, that was fun, but that game kind of got ruined. And then there's the small games that never really took off that were awesome. Like there's one called NBA Give and Go, and it was a basketball game as well. So I'm trying to keep these as close as possible. And that game was amazing, and it didn't ever take off.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
So, you know, those two things don't always correlate. That something being very successful and it being good. Halo. So, you know, do that kind of thing. But so I'm really eager to get my hands on it. Basically, there's this one guy, this one author was reviewing it, and he kind of went over like all the best parts of it. He said, so I'll break this down. It says, are you a fan of old Infinity Engine games like Icewind Dale and Baldur's Gate? Are you?
No.
Okay, yeah. Well, he says you shouldn't play Pillars of Eternity. Are you a fan of RPGs at all?
Yes.
You should play Pillars of Eternity.
I'm getting mixed signals.
I know, yeah. Do you like exploring a fascinating brand new fantasy world with its own lore and history?
Oh, no, I thought I did. Then I played Divinity Original Sin, and turns out I don't like that.
Yeah, or Morrowind for me. I came in to the Elder Scrolls on Morrowind, the third one, installment in the series, if I remember right. And there was too much. It was too far in. It was like there's a bunch of lizards, and they came from this land of over the. It's like jumping in the middle of Lord of the Rings. You know? Yeah, or George R. R. Martin, exactly, halfway through.
What's the other one? The Dragon Reborn, Wheel of Time.
Oh, Wheel of Time, yeah. Just there's a point where you're like, oh man, maybe I got in too late here. This is probably amazing. But anyway, but I normally do, but sometimes not. So, do you like interesting, flawed character companions?
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, see, there's these ones that are like really broad and overreaching.
Yeah.
And, like,
do you like well-written characters? Yeah. Do you like good games
at all?
Yeah, I do.
Do you like highly specific games that are annoying? No, then you should play.
Wait, I'm confused.
Yes, then you shouldn't play. Like, yeah. So the next one is: do you like questing, adventuring, and romping around, having a grand old time?
I do like having a grand old time. Yes.
Well, then you should play Pillars of Eternity. Do you like video games?
Yes, I do like that.
You should play Pillars of Eternity. And the last one just says: do you hate reading?
I don't think so, but sometimes I do.
You probably shouldn't play Pillars of Eternity. So anyway, they'll just kind of. Yeah. I just felt like I should. I want to check it out, but I don't want to.
Like, be honest, everybody right now, wherever you're listening to the podcast, like, raise your hand if you read all the quests lore on World of Warcraft or whatever MMO you used to play.
Yeah.
Or did you just click accept when you saw what the reward was?
Yeah.
By level 10, I think I just stopped reading the quest because it was just so much reading. So yeah, I like to think I like reading, but it turns out when I'm playing video games, I don't want to read. That's a thing I discovered about myself playing World of Warcraft.
And that's kind of I think that's a lot of that is. Well, okay, a lot of that can be mitigated by good design. Like, you know, it's just like the old mantra in movies, making movies: show, don't tell. You know, just show why your world is awesome. Don't tell me.
Show why I need to kill 5 wolves and bring back 5 wolf pelts.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you have people like Guild Wars 2 did pretty good at this. Like, you go out and you see this guy like struggling to like pull up this massive turnip, and you're like, I guess I'll go help. So you go click on it, and then your guy kind of pulls for a little bit.
You never had to read like these 3-paragraph explanations of why you have to pull up 5 turnips.
Yeah, so some guy could get paid for being the quest guy at Blizzard or wherever. Yeah, like that kind of thing's cool. Or like another one is man, in that game too, people will flock over if they see like this massive like worm come out of the ground and start like thrashing around and killing the farmers. You're like, whoa! So you run over there and then like everybody starts pouring in from around and then you just gang beat this thing. It's awesome.
Do you remember Divinity Original Age or whatever, that last game that we played? That's the last Baldur's Gate style game I've played. Did you remember how much reading there was and how little we cared about any of it?
Yes.
And I majored in literature. Like I don't mind. Like that's what my master's is in. I don't mind reading, but I don't want to read about like third-rate fantasy in a video game. I just want to have fun and play a video game.
Yeah, and you got to think about I mean, like there are people that are willing to do that because they've been conditioned to think that reading is necessary in a game and that kind of thing. Just like we've been kind of conditioned out of it. But you got to think about like kind of like a sales pitch. Like. Why a quest should be a sales pitch. This is how I do it from a D&D standpoint, at least. Like it should, you should get the players involved before you ask anything of them. And reading a wall of text is the opposite of that. You're asking them to read all the text and then become involved. Instead, you should be like, maybe show a damsel in distress or whatever. And screw you if people shit on that. I'm like, yes, it's a trope because it works. Like men are protective by nature. You can watch those videos on the internet of like I don't know if you've seen these before of a guy like slapping a girl and they're both actors and slaps this girl and she's like oh, and then all these dudes come up and they like try to romp on him and like oh no it's just a video series, don't worry. But then they reverse it where it's the woman and she punches the guy like 3 or 4 times and people
everyone's kind of laughing as they walk by. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. Even when the guy's like, he's like, ow, fuck, ow, jeez, they can knock my tooth out. People are laughing. Like, they don't care about guys. So, yeah, the women work. It works. So, if that motivates people to do something, you're going to use that in a video game. So, anyway, you do that. And then once you get there, then she tells you her story. That's fine because you're already invested at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
so
like
if you have
walking
like
up
an
to
exclamation point over your head and you want to tell me your whole sob story about how the crops aren't coming in this year unless we kill all the worms, I'm just going to click accept and kill the worms. I'm just going to scan the text, find the kill the worms part of it, and then go for it.
Yeah. Oh, well, whatever. Game design 101, or actually just psychology 101, so. Anyway, yeah, so this game's coming out. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think.
You going to try it?
I don't know. I think what I usually do if I don't know is I watch like a let's play of it, right? Or I watch a review, then I watch a let's play. At any point I can decide if I'm going to get it. And then if that doesn't work, then I usually try to get a demo, and if that doesn't work, I'll pirate it. When I use that like a demo, I'll download it, play a couple minutes, and if I get about an hour in and I'm still playing, then I'm like, okay, I'm definitely purchasing this game. But I'm not advocating piracy, but that's how I do it.
Yeah.
But I never play a game and then not pay for it. Not anymore. Now that I've got money, so.
Yeah, there's just no reason not to. It's kind of shitty.
Yeah, because there are people who are trying to feed their family.
I'm just gonna steal this real quick. Thanks.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I'd love to hear if someone out there has played it and they can give us a good like articulation. I think that's a word of why it's good. I'd love to hear that because I want to like it. I like RPGs, but that Divinity game just ruined everything for me.
Yeah, I've decided that I like RPGs, but I don't like Baldur's Gate clones. You can still like RPGs and not like that specific genre of them, which is why that opening series of questions was a little misleading. Do you like RPGs? Yes, then play this game. Do you like Baldur's Gate? No, then play this game. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But speaking of World of Warcraft, did you see their announcement they're going to start selling subscription time for gold?
Really?
Yeah, so they're going to introduce like a new economy that allows players to both spend in-game gold on real-life game time and to exchange real-life money for tokens that can be sold for in-game gold.
That's weird.
So like to get game time, you would you go to the auction house and you'd buy a World of Warcraft token. You can redeem it for 30 days of game time.
That's weird. That's like working in real life and then working in a game. Like I'm gonna pay for my hobby, so like you go out and grind gold or something.
Well, I mean, I
like the idea.
We're already paying for our hobby with real life hours. Where it's just, do you want to do it in game or do you want to do it at the McDonald's?
Well, that's what I mean, for me, that's fine. I make enough money where I'll trade a little bit of money every once in a while to buy a skin or something because I'm not really too, I want my character to look cool and I can afford it. So like I don't mind, have a disposable income. But like in game, it feels weird. It'd be like, okay, hey, go play like, and here's the storm. Play 12 matches, and you can actually just play this game for free afterwards. But beforehand, you got to pay for it. It feels like work. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the model Heroes uses, right? Because you can either work on quests, buy things with in-game gold, or you can just spend real money on it, depending on what you have the most of.
Mhm.
But the weird thing on this one is it works the other way around. Like if you need gold, you can go to the store and pay real money for a WoW token, and then sell it in the auction house for gold. So it goes both ways. It's like if the auction house is going to regulate the price of this.
That's weird, man. It's going to be an interesting experiment to
And
watch.
gold values are going to fluctuate based on supply and demand. So it's going to be like, how some auction houses are weird when it comes to economics.
Yeah.
So like we don't know how much they're going to cost. So you're just going to buy them, put it up in the auction house, and then supply and demand will dictate how much gold it's worth.
It's crazy. Where do you buy them from?
Their online shop.
Oh, okay.
So you can either take your credit card, buy a WoW token, use it for yourself, or put it on the auction house and sell it. Or if you don't have a credit card and you don't have a job, maybe you're like a kid or something with a lot of free time but not a lot of money, then you can just earn a lot of gold, go to the auction house, find out how much they cost, throw down like 10,000 gold or whatever they're going to go for, and buy a month that way.
Huh.
It's weird, but I think that's how EVE Online does it, and it seems to work for them. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
That'd be crazy. I mean, that'd be fine for late level characters, but what about early level characters where you're? Well, I guess there's not a lot of those anymore. Because you just
Yeah,
kind of
don't they like
money.
auto level you up to 70 anyway when you start playing now?
Do they? Wow. I don't know.
Yeah, at least I think I read something about that. It's been a long time since I played WoW, but I think there's an option where you can just be like, I want to be level 80 or whatever, and they're like, here you go. You can get the last 10 levels on your own.
They've been trying to address the whole like gold farming thing for a while. Maybe this is their way to do that. To be like, okay, here's a way to legitimately buy gold.
Yeah, because they already have kind of a gray market of gold sellers, so this will kind of regulate their gold economy a little bit.
Huh. I don't know. It's a crazy idea.
Yep. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, most MMOs have gone free to play by now anyway, so maybe this is like putting one foot in that camp, trying to have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, Blizzard, man, they still can't. I love that company, but they still can't get their shit together when it comes to like free to play models, because like it's still like really expensive. The heroes are, like
Yeah, but they do
like
sell
League of Legends.
stuff. Like you can get heroes on sale for like $4 if you wait.
Sometimes, but some not. Like I waited on a skin, that skin for Tychus, the one where he's infested Marine. Love it.
Oh yeah,
Waited on that forever.
skins are pretty expensive.
Like $17, never coming down. But anyway, whatevs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with me, there's one more. So I've had my eye on this game called, by Battlefield. You've heard of Battlefield, right? By EA.
Mhm.
EA, right? Why does it sound weird all of a sudden? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's EA. Well, they came out with Hardline, right? The cop one. It finally came out, where you're basically a cop that is playing army. Which
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
fundamentally against anyway.
We talked about that last week. The Cops and Robbers Battlefield.
Yeah, and some reviews have been coming out now. And overall, the multiplayer actually people are kind of going crazy for. Seems like they've gotten that down over the years, Battlefield in general. But the single player, that's the thing I was worried about. I was like, how are they going to legitimize that level of violence against American citizens? It's gonna be a little crazy. And apparently they didn't do it very well. So if you're gonna buy a Battlefield Hardline out there, guys, buy it for the multiplayer, which I think most people do anyway.
Yeah,
But-
I think a lot of people are buying it just to play the one player. Usually people that buy these games have like a group of friends that they play with on Xbox Live, and they just get on and play Battlefield every day together, and they'll all upgrade at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but apparently that's kind of like some of my concerns were popping up there of like just kind of like escalation of violence. Like there's no escalation of violence. Like for example, in the military we had to shout at someone, and then a series, depending on where you are and what your ROE is, but it's a series of things before you are willing to use lethal
You
force.
shout at them, then you insult their mother, and then you
Right.
obscene
Shove
gesture.
them for a while.
Yeah.
Right. They can look at the crowd and say, "Anybody want to see me blow this guy's head off?" and etc.
If anyone raises their hand, you have to do it, or you'll lose credibility.
You're contractually obligated by the United States Army.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you don't do that in this. You can just blow someone up with a rocket, no problem. Just a citizen. Like, I don't know. I
So
just
you're
feel
like a
it's
Ferguson police officer.
yeah, yeah. No, we only shoot the black ones. No, you shoot everyone in this one. It doesn't matter. So,
Huh.
anyway, dude,
Cool.
that Ferguson thing, by the way, even the Department of Justice was like, "Oh, you guys are fucked up." Like, they did a report on him, like a deep investigation, and they were like, "Yeah, change everything about yourselves." So, my criticism was valid, by the way.
Yeah.
They are fucked up.
Well, I have
And,
one more story on my end.
cool.
So you might have, I don't know if you've been following this. Indiana, just the governor just signed the Religious Freedom Restoration Act into law, which basically gives business owners the right to refuse service to anyone based on religious grounds. So let's say, I don't know, I'm going to pull this out of my head. Let's say you're a baker and you're making wedding cakes and two women ask you for a wedding cake because they're getting married. You can be like, nope, I don't serve gay people, and make them leave.
Okay.
Why is this gaming related? Because Gen Con, the world's biggest gaming convention, is held in Indianapolis every year, and they, among a lot of other people, Takai, huge businesses, CEOs, have threatened to take their business elsewhere and stop having Gen Con in Indiana, which is a big deal.
Wow.
It's been there for years. They have a contract to stay until 2020, but they're saying that like after that they might just move it to someplace else in 4 years because they don't want to support. You know, Gen Con is all about like everybody's welcome. You know, it's kind of where the freaks and geeks and marginalized people of society go anyway. You know,
Yeah.
you can cosplay, play D&D, go see a Firefly convention. Like it's just a geek paradise. And one thing geeks take very seriously is acceptance of everybody because most of them were teased and bullied in high school.
Yeah.
So they are not really too big on this discrimination law.
Jeez, that's crazy. I wonder if they're gonna reply to that.
They wrote him a letter and they said legislation that could allow for refusal of service or discrimination against our attendees will have a direct negative impact on the state's economy and will factor into our decision making on hosting the convention in the state of Indiana in future years. Despite this letter and countless others, the senator signed it into law, so it's there. And from most recent reports, he has no intention of backing down on this because got to have your religious freedom. It's hard to be a Christian in this country.
Someday, maybe someday there'll be a time when like a Christian can make it all the way into the Oval Office and then do it again 43 times in a row.
Right.
It would be cool.
It's
It'd be
hard when you're
difficult.
80% of the population. It's really, you got to make sure your rights are cemented in the law. You can just refuse service to those mean gay people.
They're so mean.
They
They're always
are.
like up in my shit.
They're always
I'm trying
asking
to,
for
like-
cakes when I'm selling cakes. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Stop asking for cakes. Get your own cakes, bro. No. Oh, that's
So
crazy.
we may
man.
have Gen Con in a different state next year, or in 2020, in 4 years.
Wow. Well, yeah, politics even reaches video games.
Yep.
What do you know?
And
Or in
tabletop
gaming in
games.
general. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, that's all I got in the news section.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, then let's move into the gaming reviews. All right, this is the game review section where we talk about games that we've been playing, and I'm excited about this one. I've been playing a brand new game.
What have
Not
you been
brand new.
playing?
Brand new to me. Well, I've been playing that City Skylines for a while, but that's not what I want to talk about. I've been playing The Bureau, XCOM Declassified. You heard about that one?
Yeah, it was the expansion.
Oh,
Or is
is
it
it-
like a different one?
It's a whole new game.
Oh, okay. I have not played it then. Is that the one that's kind of like film noir kind of XCOM, where it's set in the kind of LA noir
1950s.
setting?
Yeah, it's set in the 1950s. It's weird, dude. It's weird. I don't know. So XCOM's always kind of been one kind of game, as far as I remember, at least. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. This turn-based strategy. But now it plays just like Mass Effect. It's basically Mass Effect. Like it's got the little decision wheel and everything. Like whenever you go to question someone or talk to them, there's a lot of talking, a lot of walking around. It's over the shoulder, third-person view.
Oh.
So XCOM is all about aliens, right? Taking over. It's like the whole deal.
Yeah.
That's still happening here, but it's in the 50s.
So like
And
Roswell.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And like it's kind of fun though because you get like the big clunky equipment to like help you use certain abilities. So it's not like psi abilities, like in XCOM, but it's more it's like a weird machines plus magic. It's a weird genre, but I don't know. I think I can't say I'm enjoying it. I am. So basically, it's this: you have different kinds of aliens that are coming down, and they're terraforming Earth, right? And you're like this hardened, grizzled. So the protagonist, that's you, William Carter, and it's just so hard to get with this guy. I'm not sold, I don't feel like that's me. I'm not really like down with his. He's like an old CIA guy, right? And he got kicked out for I think like alcoholism or whatever. The typical thing.
As you do, yeah.
As you do, and because his family died in a fire or something. But and then you find out like the game starts and you're like bringing this cryptic briefcase and makes a big deal out of the briefcase and you bring it to someone and then like this superior comes in and is like, give me your briefcase, and you're like, no, fuck you, I need to give it directly to the director of the CIA. And they say, and then she turns out, she turns around, she's an alien, an alien, she's infiltrated, and you get in a fight and there's some explosion and you wake up later and it's gone. Typical, like kind of lazy writing there. But because then he's like, oh, and whatever's in that briefcase healed all my injuries. It's just weird. I was like, what? Okay. I'm sure that'll pan out later, but it's weird, dude. Like I don't. The story's kind of like.
I'm picturing like a game review site where they just like have quotes, and this one's like quotation mark. It's weird, dude. Close quotes. Jeremiah Game Theory Podcast.
It is, man. Like you kind of. So when you tell a story, a lot of the times, you know this out of every game. Now that we've been playing games long enough, and games have kind of taken like a dark spin more days, like most media has nowadays. And anytime you see a friend, you're like, that friend's gonna die soon. Like if it's the main character.
I do that in real life, actually.
What's that?
I do that in real life. Every time I see a friend, I'm like, that friend's gonna die soon. Just keeps me prepared, so I'm not so devastated when it happens.
Right, when it happens, you're like, called it, guys.
I'm at the funeral. Called it. I totally called it, guys. I called it. Amy,
is it too soon?
You're a widow, so maybe this is too soon, but I did call it.
John over there bet me money. I'm expecting that $20. Yeah, like this one, it starts out and there's like a guy and he's like, hey bud, but it's in the 50s, so there's really no feels involved. It's not like, hey man, let's have a heart to heart. Like today, I think people are a little more sensitive, but like back then it was like, hey, let's pull up our suspenders together. All right, we're
pull ourselves up by our bootstraps together. Have a healthy cigarette and talk about the war.
Yeah, that's kind of you get this guy that you kind of start developing a friendship with, but that it doesn't work because you're this grizzled alcoholic CIA agent, ex-agent. So he's not letting anyone in. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work because they're just like, hey, here's an introduction of a new person. Uh-oh, he's fucked. Huh? Are you worried? And I'm like, no, I don't give a shit about him. I don't care what happens to him. They're like, well, he's all, look at him, he's gross. Ew, what happened? And I'm like, I don't really care. And then there's like this long drawn out like dialogue tree where you have to like, it's trying to pull feels out that aren't there. Like it's just weird, dude. It's weird. I can't. As I'm playing, and I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna review this for the podcast. I need to like think about the critical things, and I also need to get an overall feel of the game. And the critical things I've got, and the good things I've got, but the overall feel, I don't. I find myself playing it, but I'm not like, yeah, I can't wait to go play it. Like it's almost a habit now. Like I'm just like, oh, I guess it's time to play some Bureau XCOM. Click, click. It's weird. So the good things is it's now a cover shooter game like Mass Effect, and it's fun, and the little battles are pretty fun, except that you have to micromanage your buddies, which I don't mind too much. And they've got like, like you can get kind of like a turret. It's got engineer, commando, medic, all that stuff, that you'd expect. And they have little abilities. It's fun. I like the little fights. They're fun. I don't mind having to micromanage everyone.
Can you make your own? Can you, like, design your own like squad of your friends, like in the other XCOM games?
Yeah, but it's a 50s thing, so it doesn't look like anyone. They look like the slick hair. Like the faces aren't very variable. Yeah, there's like I think there's 10 faces you can pick from, and they're all kind of like I don't know. They're pretty weird. Like nobody looks like anyone. I just go for hair color, and then and they dress so weird. Oh man, one you're wearing like a suit and tie with like full-on coveralls from the 50s. It's weird, dude. Like I can't give you an overall feel. I'm sorry, but yeah. So the fights are fun. The idea is cool, but it's not well delivered. So the idea of like these aliens coming down and like they start dropping these pods down into the pavement. You know, it's like bam, it's kind of like War of the Worlds. You know, a shatter of the pavement, the cement. There's something in there. It's glowing. What is it? And all of a sudden these massive spires come out of them, and they build like, you know, makes you think they're not coming to conquer, they're coming to take over and stay, you know, which is cool. I like that idea. And you see like, you know, whole, you know, rural places get swallowed in, and I don't know, I like that feel.
Wait,
cool.
have they addressed why nobody remembers this happening in the XCOM games that take place in the future?
No.
Like is there like a is there like a Men in Black like little beam, everyone forgets what happened thing, or
Not yet. I know, that's like when it starts out I was like, oh, I see, it's going to be a small like in-house, you know, CIA kind of like a Tom Clancy type feel, you know, it's like an inner agency kind of problem.
yeah, where no one finds out about it.
Yeah, exactly. And there's
Or just like kooks, you know, like, oh, Area 51.
Yeah, that's how I thought it was going to be, but no, shit's getting real, and I'm like, well, I guess this is an alternate storyline, because you would remember that.
Everyone seemed pretty surprised when aliens started showing up in the other XCOM games.
Yeah. But it's cool. You get to see like the beginning of XCOM, how it starts, you know. So that's fun. But I don't know. Like I'm just not sold on it. I'm not really sold on the characters, you know. It's like, oh look, there's this director of CIA. He's so weird, isn't he? And I'm like, okay, is he an alien? I don't know. Like I'm starting to assume he is. It's not really working. But the gameplay is fun. I like it. I like shooting aliens. I like saving the world.
It'd be an interesting like social commentary if they, because of the setting. Remember the communist witch hunt that was going on there with the McCarthy hearings? Like if they did that but with aliens, you know, like accusing people of being aliens.
Yeah, that would be cool. They do reference a lot of stuff of the times. They obviously did their homework, and you know, you get to hear stuff like, oh, John F. Kennedy is doing this, whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, what if an alien assassinates him?
That would be hilarious. This game.
So what was your, we don't do 5-star ratings or whatever because that's pretty useless, but what about your price point? Where would you feel okay paying money for this game?
Well, I bought it on the Steam Summer Sale, or the Steam Summer Sale. Yeah. The Steam sale, and it was like $7, and so I feel like for that it's definitely worth it. And I'm still putting time into it, so I obviously like it. But I like squad-based shooters, man. So I really think I'm a little biased. I think overall, most people would be willing to pay like $10 for it, maybe 15. I really have to tell if this whole plot is working towards anything, because it kind of works out these little spots, and then it doesn't have me sold. But there could be like a big wow moment that I'll be like, whoa, this game is totally cool. So I don't know. Gameplay's fun. Narrative is kind of shitty. It's okay, and the time and the feel of it's pretty cool. And yeah, the fights are cool. Like, you know, you'll find yourself in like the backyard of like a farm, and that's where one of these pods have dropped, and then all of a sudden, you know, like it starts building this like, because it's weird, like the structures kind of build themselves. You know, they're like automated, so they start like expanding. Sometimes it happens in the middle of a fight. The fights are dynamic. It's pretty cool. Like you have a lot of, they don't feel the same, so it's really fun that way. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird game, guys. I don't know. I'll try to let you know at the end when I finish it what my overall impression is, because if they're trying to make a point, that's good. If they're not, this is how it's going to be the whole time. I think, yeah, like $5 to $10 is all it's worth. But yeah, so it's XCOM Declassified. What's it called? Bureau. Hold on. Yeah, the Bureau. XCOM Declassified.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I have been playing a lot of games, so I'm just going to touch on them briefly. But first of all, I played the most recent episodes of Tales from the Borderlands and Game of Thrones. Have you played those yet?
No.
Play them! Why are you not playing them? Right now, stop the podcast.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye. No, they're really good. I actually had a moment. I was playing the Tales from the Borderlands, the most recent episode, and before the intro was even finished, I was saying out loud, "This is awesome! I'm having so much fun." No one was in the room. I just said that to myself out loud, which I can't remember the last time a game has made me do that before. I was just,
yeah, that's awesome.
I was just having a good time playing that game the whole time. And Game of Thrones, I did not say that because Game of Thrones, you just feel like everything horrible's about to happen, and it's just so stressful. Like, it's also a good game, but I did not think I was having a good time. I felt very stressed.
Oh, I like that game.
Yeah, I like it too, but you're not just like sitting there with a huge stupid grin on your face the whole time you're playing it. You're just like waiting for the other foot to drop the whole time. You know what I mean? There's like that
Yeah.
tension in that game.
Yeah, good point.
So I enjoyed them both for different reasons, but those were both great. If you guys haven't played those latest episodes, I would check them out ASAP. Meanwhile, been playing a lot of Earthbound, been playing a lot of Metroid Prime, been playing Sonic Generations and Binary Domain from the Sega sale that's going on this weekend.
Oh, nice. I'd be curious about that binary domain.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very over. It's kind of over ambitious, overly ambitious, I would say, because they try to incorporate this voice command thing, and it just does not work very well. Like
Okay.
if you ever use like 2008 era voice recognition software, like that's kind of what they're working with. And so I've got it where it can kind of understand me, but also it thinks I'm saying things when I'm not saying anything. And my squad mates will be like, "Wait, what? What do you mean?" And I'm like, "I'm not saying anything. Shut up." So I usually end up playing with my mic muted most of the time, just so they stop mistaking, I don't know, whatever ambient noise they're hearing in the background for words.
Yeah.
And some of the boss fights are really annoying. Like, you're just constantly being blown up, and there's no real incentive to take cover a lot of time because you can take so much abuse before you die. So and the healing like kicks in so fast. You know, they've got that pretty standard mechanic now of over-the-shoulder shooters where if you just take cover, you're back to normal. It's like you were never shot.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah, I don't know why that. I do know why it caught on. Halo started doing that, but yeah, not super excited about that. But overall, it's kind of fun. Like, you just shoot robots. It takes place in a dystopian. It basically takes place in the world how it would be in 2080, I think. Yeah, I think it's 2080 when the game takes place, and basically global warming fucked everything over, and like all the cities flooded, and most people died, and then they just kind of built up. So all the cities are like built over the ocean now. And robots are a big thing because they use robots to rebuild. But it's pretty fun. And then I played Sonic Generations, which is a kind of a nostalgic throwback. It's like modern Sonic and old school Sonic. So you have like 2D side scrolling with old school Sonic and 3D with the modern Sonic, and it's kind of a blend of the two.
Huh.
So if you like Sonic games, like, this is probably the best reviewed one that's come out in, I don't know, 20 years. It actually got like 8 out of 10 on most game sites I looked at before I bought it.
Generations, okay.
So any Sonic fans in the house, which is actually what our episode this week is about, so we'll talk more about it then. And but yeah, I've been really playing a lot of Metroid Prime. It's so much fun. Just the feeling of empowerment you get as you get new upgrades, and the space pirates are just fearing you. You're reading their memos about the hunter is walking among us, killer on sight. Then like, oh, you can try, but I only kill you. It's very kind of a power fantasy.
I love those whenever you hear people like, oh, you heard that in Thief a lot when you play that game.
Yeah,
Like,
or Shadows of Mordor.
yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's right, I'm coming for you. But, yeah, that's cool. So that's it? That's all the games you played? God.
Yeah,
more
and
games, dude.
oh yeah, also been playing Monster Hunter 4 with my brother. And
I'm still doing that.
What's that?
You're still doing that?
Yeah, we do it a couple times a week. We'll go out and hunt some monsters, and we're trying to get. You don't level up, but you get better equipment from killing monsters, which lets you fight bigger monsters, which gives you better equipment, which lets you fight bigger monsters, and so forth and so on. So we're kind of experiencing that little RPG mechanic of getting better through gear. But it's pretty cool. I forgot to put a password on our game, and this random guy showed up with like a bow, and he started following us around like on hunts and stuff with like just shooting poison arrows at the things we were hunting. It's kind of funny. And the whole time he was like trying to chat with us. He's like, "I don't know how to get a cat. How do I get a cat?" And we're like, "What are you talking about?" Because you have a little cat like sidekick that follows you around, but I don't know how you get it. He's just been there, and he's like, "I can't find my cat." And I'm like, "Sorry, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe Google that."
What is with that in games, man? Like, that is so weird. That happened in H1Z1 all the time. I'd be out like sneaking around doing something, and someone's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "What the?" Because you're always on like edge in that game. It's a survival horror game, and it's a survival game more, but still, like, you know, you're scared the entire time because of other people going to shoot you, and all of a sudden over the loud mic, and those mics sucked, dude. They all sound like shit in that game.
Yeah.
So it's like hold up, like right in your ear, and I was like, what? And I turned around, and some guy's like, he goes, where can I get a bottle of water? I'm like, I'm sitting there with my gun. I'm like, is this guy serious or is this a trap? And he's like, I need a bottle of water. What about an empty bottle? And I'm not saying anything. I'm like, whatever. So finally I was like, okay, it's harmless. And I go about, like, you know, continuing through, because bottles of water are, you know, they're around. Just look. What the hell? We're in a hotel even. There's tons of places to look. And he just kept following me around, and then I hear him later, because that game's kind of funny because they're louder when they're closer, and they're like real quiet when they're far away. So I hear this. There's one point where this car comes by, and cars are always bad news in this game, right? Because that's like someone showing up with like body armor. You know, that's not a good sign. That means they've been around for a while, and they're probably bandits. Because you don't need body armor against zombies. But and you know, this car's like, it pulls into the hotel, and I'm like, oh crap. And so like I get into a back room, and I'm looking for the back door, and I hear it's like, oh my god. And I hear, hey guys, you know a bottle of water? You just hear gunfire. Like, I'm pretty sure they shot him and killed him. Oh god, I forgot they killed him.
Got a bottle of water.
Just one bottle of water, man.
It's weird, man. It goes back to like the pre-internet days. Remember when like you'd go to class and like your elementary school kids buddies would be like, "Hey, where's the warp zone in World 5?" And you're like, "Oh, it's this way." But like, I don't know. I feel like since Google, there's no reason to ask strangers online these questions. You could easily Google it.
Yeah, exactly. And putting yourself at risk. The guy was probably new to the game. He didn't know that people are dangerous. Because I had my weapon out when it came up. It's not like I was just a random looter. I had guns. I don't know, man. People, it's like those people in WoW who used to come up and like bug you, like, hey, can I have some gold? Or sign my petition for a guild. I'm like, no, please
stop. Boundaries. So yeah, that's been my gaming experience this week. Just been kind of nonstop gaming it up. Played some Hyrule Warriors too. There's so much content. I went ahead and bought the DLC, so there's even more content. Like one of the, I unlocked like Young Link and Tingle, that stupid little fairy guy with the balloons.
Yeah.
He's like a playable character. And like I unlocked a new weapon for Link. It was like his horse, so like Epona. You can just ride it around and like stab people from horseback now.
Oh, wow.
So been playing that a little bit. Just kind of some Smash Brothers. Oh, I played some online Smash Brothers. Holy smokes. Like you think you're a good player, you go to you play during the middle of the day when it's nighttime in Japan and have all these like Japanese kids like just tear you up. Like I won maybe 30% of the games I played against Japanese kids that day.
Wow.
Pretty humbling. They were really good.
Wow. Yeah, no thanks. I'm not even that good at that game.
So yeah, it's been kind of a gaming marathon. It's been fun.
That's cool, dude. Well, it's fun. All right. Well, I guess that pretty much wraps up that section, and we will see you guys on the other side then in the in-depth analysis.